party, pal!
There he is. Mushroom dance. Whatever could it mean? It means you've lived a life of sin.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Sorry, that's an Undertale's joke. I didn't know we were recording yet.
That's the new theme song for this.
No.
Welcome to the party, pal. This is a podcast by us, the Loomer Brothers. I'm Preston Loomer.
Nathan Loomer.
And we talk about movies that we like. And because it's Spoopy month, we are doing all of the OG Universal monster movies.
All of them.
We're not doing all. We're not. That's like 40 movies. We're doing 8 of them.
Yes.
Doing the ones that introduced each of the sort of known characters. So we did Frankenstein, Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, Mummy, Phantom of the Opera, Wolfman, and the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yes. No Son of Frankenstein because we don't like kids.
No kids. We did.
Oh gosh. Oh, no.
Because we're bored and we decided to mix things up, we're gonna rank each of these, and then at the end we have to come together and like rank them collectively, and we will sit here as long as it takes. This is a 4-hour podcast.
Oh, we're gonna fight a little bit. I can feel it.
Be pretty close.
Yeah.
Also, apologize if the dogs suddenly go ballistic. They always
do it.
People come home and it's almost that time.
Yes.
All right, so
Okay.
This handy dandy coin, so we can break time.
Okay, good.
Need to. Basically, what I'm going to do is we're going to each list our movies from bottom up, and if they're the same, we just talk about it, and if they're to like fight over it.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Any last words before we start?
May the best man win.
Win.
Yeah.
All right. So number 8. My number 8 was The Mummy.
Mine was the Wolfman.
Oh, this is gonna be hard.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard. I think I just wasn't in the mood.
Be like, why did we do this?
Also, by the way, your audio keeps going in and out. I don't know if it's just me. Is it good?
Okay, it's probably because I'm really far from my mic. Is that better?
That's a lot better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like my mic's like way over in the corner, because otherwise you can see it.
That's all good.
Swapped rooms every time. I've just decided that every time. But I'm running out of rooms, so eventually you're gonna see me on the toilet.
I haven't moved. I have not moved.
It's because here's what happened is because Jess keeps changing where she's like working, and that's wherever the desk is where I do the episode.
Yeah.
Eventually, I think it's stationary now, but you never know.
Good.
I'm in a different spot next week. I am.
Okay.
So,
number 7.
no, we're not. We're starting by talking about them.
Oh, talk about him.
Talk about them first. That's the point.
Okay.
Heads or tails?
Heads.
It is heads. So we're gonna talk about the Wolfman first.
Okay.
I gotta find. There we go. Okay. All right. Tell me about the Wolfman, Nate.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. This is the one I watched like the latest at night, and so I think I was like half asleep. I didn't find it very interesting just because I don't know, the first hour of the movie until the Wolfman stuff, I didn't care. I did not care.
I understand that part of it, and I will say I've seen it before, so this is
okay.
I'm seeing it, and it's one of those ones that I think the first time I watched it, I was like, "What is this?" And now it's better.
Yeah.
So
the last half an hour of the movie felt great.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Lon Chaney Jr. I have a problem with him because he sounds like the skipper. I couldn't get over it.
See, the thing, and I wrote down he looks like Tom Hanks, and then I was like, why didn't we get a Tom Hanks Wolfman reboot?
Yes.
What was that?
Oh.
It's hard. Lon Chaney is like the son of one of the most iconic silent film actors, so you have to kind of work with that.
Yes.
We can only do so much. But this movie just reminded me, you know what I wish they had more of now? Pre-movie credits.
Yeah. I did like those.
Then we watch it and then it's over.
Yes.
And there's not like 7 minutes of stuff afterwards. Although if you did that, there would be a 7-minute intro. But if you make it fun.
But I knew it was in it. Unlike I can go IMDb every other movie on the list.
Yeah, I know it's insane. Um, and I like the lack of like detail attention that they gave it, where it's like everybody has a different accent. Some,
Yeah,
some people are dressed like it's the Middle Ages. Some people are dressed like it's 1940.
this is what they had lying around. But I think that's another part of it. It feels like the laziest monster to me. It's like
I
just
think
throw
it.
some fur on him.
Yeah, I mean, I think to a point, and I think that makeup design, like they've done more. I think because of where we are with like werewolf movies now, and especially after American Werewolf in London, like really went and said,
Yeah,
"This is what a cool ass werewolf looks like." He look
yeah,
he's between that and Teen Wolf, like on the spectrum of good to bad.
yeah.
Now I've got a lot of Teen Wolf fans being like, "How dare
How
you,
dare you?
Teen Wolf?"
Movies dairy.
This movie, I think, is also possibly the most racist of all the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, but it does do no service to gypsies.
No gypsies.
Like it's always freaking gypsies.
Although those are some of my favorite characters in the movie. I actually was really fascinated by them because of how weird they are. They just like pop up and they go away. At least the woman does. Like,
It was interesting. I looked up the height because I was like, man, Lon Chaney Jr. is so tall.
yeah,
I realize now because I looked up because when you look up, on Google, it's always like this person, and then there's like the four people after them who are like associated with them. He's the tallest actor who plays a monster.
see, I would have gone with what's his name? Not Bela Lugosi, the other guy. I would have gone Karloff.
Karloff's the shortest of the three of them.
No way! No! Oh, my head.
6 foot even, and then Karloff's like 5'11".
Holy crap! Like,
There we go.
there we go.
Better dog food in boxes. All right, that's fine. Jess will be embarrassed that I showed like half of our room. It's
I
fine.
love it.
I think see like it's not my favorite. I'll give it that. It was. Remember, I was saying to you,
Yeah.
the four that kind of ran into the like they're all fine category, and
Yeah.
this one wasn't my favorite of those.
Okay.
It's not my least favorite.
Got it.
Yeah. And I like I said, I acknowledge it has flaws. It's yeah. He's real. I said you gotta love when you turn into a monster because you're horny and you don't realize that a woman says no, it means no.
You know. That's the analogy for the whole movie.
I said everyone out there, if a woman says no, leave her alone.
Leave her alone.
It's not worth it. You could be turned into a dog man.
Okay.
Um,
And what was your least favorite again?
I was a mummy.
Mommy. Okay, which I can get. It's
I flipped to the mummy.
yeah.
This is the second time I've seen the mummy.
Yeah, me too.
Less this time than the first time.
Yes.
And the reason for that is because A, it's mildly racist.
Yes.
It's boring as hell.
It's that last half an hour of this movie that I was like, I thought this was the good part, but I was wrong.
Actually, it's so dull. Like,
yeah.
the interesting moment is that first
Very first.
like 10 minutes
Yeah.
comes to life, and then after that it's just like you just watch sad Boris Karloff in like, old age makeup walking around telling people to give him stuff.
Yeah. It's just weird. He's not even that creepy because he's just like, hey, I want my thing. Everybody's like, oh, it's just a dude. Like, he's not a mummy.
No, it made it like this like horrifying creature, and then he's not even like bandaged, or I don't know where the bandage image came from because he's not in that at all.
No.
I don't know if that was a thing that somebody came up with later or
Probably
was, oh sorry,
a different. Maybe it's a different mummy movie. I don't know if there's more.
who is driving a motorcycle this close to my house?
You just can't. You can't win. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I again, and the thing is, nobody in this movie is Egyptian. I don't think Egyptians in this movie, but they keep acting like everyone is.
Yeah.
The gal has no personality aside from the crazy eyes.
Yes.
Like everything about it, I was just like, she's got nothing. There's no interest to this woman besides the fact that
Well, and the thing that like she can't love someone else. She has to love. It's a weird. That whole plot with her doesn't work for me either. That's like the main ending plot. Is like she has to only love me because she used to love me, but now she loves him.
it's not even scary. It's like it's a romance movie that
Yes.
it's like, did you see Crimson Peak?
Yeah.
Spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen Crimson Peak. It's not a horror film.
Yeah.
It's a scary romance movie. We were to that one Halloween. Jess was so excited, and she walked out being like, "Why did we do that?" I was like, "Yep, classic Del Toro throwing us with the monster sex."
He loves it.
I do think it's cool that Boris Karloff played two monsters. Like, I wanted to see that movie where they had the Mummy meets Frankenstein, and he's both of them.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Yeah. And I like that the beginning of this is like the classic, like, this item is cursed. You have to put it back. We can't put it. Too late. We've been cursed.
You've been cursed.
Like, the second you found it, it was too much.
Although, man, the guy I don't know the name of the actor, but he also is Van Helsing.
Yeah, he's in like 4 of these.
He is the best thing in this, and I don't know if he's the best in Dracula for me, but he's so good in this. Maybe that's because everyone else is around him.
Not the best in Dracula for me.
Yeah.
He is the best part of this. Also, I had to Google the guy who played the Nubian because I was like, is that dude in blackface? Black, and they did paint him darker.
Okay. Well,
So he is black. So
when you make it more tan, like
it's not total blackface.
yes,
It's not great.
not great.
The only scene I really liked was the flashback when they go back to ancient Egypt and
Mhm.
what put him in as a mummy.
Yeah.
And the scene at the end where they have him decay after the curse is broken.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was just like, I don't think I need to see this one ever again. It's fine. It's great. And no, I'm done. It's the only one I gave a negative review to.
That's good. I can probably bump that down because that was my number 6.
Okay.
If we're having to do, are we doing it right now? Are we picking the order?
No, we'll do it at the end. I'm gonna
Okay.
writing both of them down, and then we'll go at the end.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, and the other thing I said to myself is, why didn't they make an Indiana Jones movie where he fights mummies?
I know.
Alien,
Perfect.
they went mummies. Like, what is that? But I guess the remake is kind of Indiana Jones fights mummies. But we'll talk about that some other.
We'll see.
Okay, so number 7.
7. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, I went first last time.
Okay. Monster in Black Lagoon.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Mine is Dracula.
Wow.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I know, and I'll defend the hell out of it.
I know. This is
This is gonna be so like okay. So I'm gonna start this one because you started the last one. So we're talking about.
yeah.
I know Dracula's a classic, and I love Bela Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi's my favorite out of like everyone.
Eyebrows in the monster business.
Yes.
Here's what happened for me. So this is the thing. They obviously changed a lot from the book for the movie. Yeah. And while some of it works for me, the only thing I found interesting was the relationship between Dracula and Renfield.
Yeah.
I was like, you could put Harker and Mina and all of that other crap aside. I just want to watch Dracula torture the crazy guy for 3 hours.
Yeah.
No! Okay.
I love the crazy guy. I think he's so good. I forgot about him. I've seen this movie twice, and it's my 3rd time now.
Not Igor in Frankenstein.
Yeah. But then he's somebody else in both of them, right?
And he's in The Invisible Man in like one scene.
Yeah. It's weird.
It's but like again, in the same issue we had with the Wolfman, it feels like they just kind of threw whatever they had in the shop like into the movie at times. There's that scene where the armadillos crawl out of the in Transylvania. That's a desert animal.
Yeah. It's like a little coffin.
I like the lighting choices, and a lot of the sets are really cool in this. I like the coffin. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
Brides are all crawling out, and then this like beetle crawls out of a coffin.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, but like overall, I just went and it's let me say it this way: it's not that Dracula's bad.
No,
It's that I think it's just not as good as the rest of them.
it's a I'm gonna sound bad. It's a poorly made, like edited movie. I don't know if I felt like the director did good, and then it's just there's no music, there's no transition. It's just like
A lot of background noise. It's a lot of footfalls,
yeah,
static. Um,
fake bats that look fucking ridiculous.
I don't know where I caught up. I don't remember what was going on because I wrote this note down, but I just wanted Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter as a movie.
Yeah,
Why that sounds so good.
he's
But I was
so good.
like that sounds like something that would happen in some bad, canon films remake
Yeah,
thing. But yeah, and I want I want a Renfield spinoff. I think he's the most interesting character in this movie, and I actually like the choice to have him take Harker's role over in the
yeah,
scene because it's kind
I
of
love it.
like because in all the other ones he's there, but he's like, oh, he came earlier and now he's insane. So it's kind of cool to see what drove him nuts,
Yeah,
and what made him the Guillermo of this vampire.
yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I've been watching too much. Oh,
Yeah, and like, I think at the time it was probably really scary, but then it just now plays kind of goofy.
yeah,
Scene where Renfield bleeds and you watch Dracula just get the biggest erection.
yeah.
It's like so like, oh my god, I must have it.
I put in my notes Dracula's making this up as he goes along because there was a moment where like he comes in the house, he flies out as a bat, he communicates as a wolf, he comes back into the house. And I'm like, where are you, dude? Like, what is your game plan?
It's improv. It's
Yeah.
yeah. There's no script for this movie. It was just long improv.
Oh my god.
Too is I expected it to be good after watching because this is I had seen it the first time by itself and now I'd seen it after watching Nosferatu.
Hmm.
The not Dracula that they made in Germany.
Yeah. Which
Um,
is creepy.
that one's scary. This one's
Yeah.
scary.
Uh-uh.
Like this is like I said, it's just like a high school production that somehow got a film budget. All the actors, you I don't know if you've seen that show on Disney Plus where Kristen Bell goes back to high schools and is like, redo the show you did when you were in high school.
Oh no.
It's a little like that, but they didn't have the script anymore, so they just kind of went, well, I think so and so was here.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the I did think that they cut down to the essential characters well. That
Yes.
Lucy, Harker, Renfield, Dracula, and that was like it. Whereas like,
Yeah.
if you've seen any other version of it, there's like seven men who basically don't do anything. Usually one of them
Yeah.
to die during one of the fights.
Yeah. I feel that because I know that's the book. I read a thing about I watched a thing about which movie is most accurate, and he's like, it's too much for a movie. Is the is the problem? That's why.
Like yeah, and if you watch the '92 Coppola one, like
Hmm.
so maybe we'll just spoil it now. The next podcast is the remakes and or updated versions of all of these movies.
Something like it.
So if you like what we're doing here and you want to know what did they think of Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, back later.
Well, no.
You'll know.
Yeah.
That's all I got on Dracula. Um, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Which I this almost went on my bottom. I think, but what saved it was it is a cool looking thing, and the underwater scenes are impressive.
That's about what put it. So it's my number 6. It's right above. It's right above Dracula, and
Okay.
the reason for it is basically the underwater scenes. But like I thought, everybody else talks about it. I was like,
Yeah.
I thought this was gonna be really good. It was not that interesting, and they had that whole idea of like the
Uh-uh.
chasing the girl, but he doesn't really do that much. It's mostly
Mm-mm.
weird slasher flick with. I was like, this is
That's how I felt most of it.
Jason Takes Manhattan, but like earlier with a little less cheese.
And I think that's a lot of to do with the human characters are my least favorite human characters in any movie.
Interesting is the woman.
Yeah,
She-
who looks like Robin from How I Met Your Mother.
This is true.
That's all I thought.
She's the only one who's interesting. The rest of them are all like six white guys you can't tell apart, which is my least favorite. It's the same issue
Couldn't.
with the OG Ocean's 11. Is it's like one character who you remember. I remember, and I remembered the boat captain because he was supposed to be like Brazilian.
Yes.
Forget.
Yeah. Oh.
It took me about 2/3 of the way through where I realized like, oh, those two guys are both in love with her. I don't know, just like, but I did.
I just didn't care. I didn't care about them. I just couldn't.
And the creature's scary up until you see his face, and then he just looks like a pervert watching a porn. He just like eyes, and they don't work. And the logic in the movie where they like put the super strong water creature in a bamboo cage with rope and think, oh, he can't break out of rope and bamboo.
Yeah.
He does.
Oh.
It is cool though. The underwater stuff is awesome.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, that's the part I want to bring. The first time they find the fossil, the little hand,
Yeah.
and he just like pulls it. Like he just uses his hand like grab like it's a fossil. Poop. Like, got it. You don't let him do that.
These are like Indiana Jones bad scientists, right?
Yeah. So, well, that's good. That's good that these are closer to.
Yeah, and like all this, there's a bunch of bad Brazilian stereotypes of some of the supporting characters, but it's cool. They did have the other thing that's cool is they had two monsters,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is interesting. They had one guy who did the land stuff, and then one guy who was like an Olympic swimmer.
Oh, that's really cool, actually.
I mean, yeah, that was.
I would like to see what it's made out of because of. I mean, I guess it was 1950s. It's a little. If it was in the 30s, probably more impressive.
And I'm sure there was like a scuba suit inside the monster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say this is the most interesting female character in any movie in this series,
Yeah.
which is real sad.
Real sad.
It's real sad.
Well, actually, there's one character that I'll bring it up later.
One,
Yeah.
okay, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
To be fair, yes, the one who may have a movie named after themselves is probably more interesting.
Oh wait. Oh, that wasn't what I was thinking of. But
Yeah. Oh, good.
anyways,
Green left and right. Okay. I got no other notes. I took like the least amount of notes on this one.
got it. Okay. What numbers do you want me to? Oh, sorry. It's your turn.
Oh, it's fine. If you have anything else to say,
I got nothing else to say on this one. This one, I visually cool. Go look at it. It's not great. It's not.
it was my 6, so we already talked about it. So whatever your 6 is,
Well, Mummy's my stick.
we're just skipping 6. We've talked about 6 and 6.
Oh.
My number 5 is Phantom.
What?
Phantom of the Opera.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, that's what happened.
My number 5 is Dracula. So.
Okay, so not yeah, we're ballpark. It's the same. We already talked about Dracula.
Yeah.
Talk about Phantom of the Opera. This is the only one that's in color.
Yeah. Weird.
Not the one that came out last, because Creature from the Black Lagoon came out after it. But
Yes.
it's the third movie with Claude Rains, who was also in The Wolfman and The Invisible Man.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yep. So this is the color one. If you're watching the silent film, this is not the right movie.
Yes.
If you're watching the one where they actually sing a lot, this is also not the right movie.
Movie.
I will say, I was surprised it took them, what is it, like 100 years for somebody to be like, maybe we should make this into a musical.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
the story's great.
well, I thought at first that it was going to be about like a dancer because it's silent and it's still about singing. And I was like, you're going to put that in a silent movie?
And I will say, clarifying, it's not 5 because I don't like it. It's
Yeah.
5 because I like the 4 above it better.
I get it. Yeah.
Things where it's like I liked them more than I liked this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this one's actually really good.
Yeah.
I like the thing I like that I think that the musical especially is missing is the origin story of the Phantom.
Yes.
I was, you know, I also think they ripped off Phantom of the Paradise pretty hard.
Stop.
That was a bit.
Stop that.
I also about halfway through was like, this means that the one thing I think is for a movie about opera, the score is actually kind of flat.
Hmm.
Need more. I wrote down, I was like, it needs more like a somewhere in
It plays once,
it. I yes, it
and
did
I was like, "Oh my god!"
it like
Copied it.
after I wrote that down, and I was like, wait a minute, did they read my mind?
Yeah.
Um, and again, the characters in it are actually more or less interesting. The Phantom's really good. Claude Rains is probably the best actor in most of these movies.
Yes.
And the gal who plays Christine is actually really interesting.
See, that's my favorite girl out of all of these.
There, I think I put the creature gal just above her.
Love her. Yeah.
She's also
Uh, there is times though when I'm like, these people are doing such a good job, and then there'll be that silent movie moment where it's just like, "Ugh," and I'm like, oh god.
every time they tried to make comedy in this movie, I was like, stop.
Stop. Stop it.
Chief and the opera guy try to go through the door at the same time, and it wasn't funny the first time. It's not
Funny. And I'm trying to figure out if the hand thing, the don't get your they put their hand up to not get caught by a noose, and they walk around for like 5 minutes.
And yes, it's so funny, and it doesn't make any
It
sense.
doesn't make any sense. Oh my god! And they have to remind you, like the guy puts it down, he's like, "No, you have to keep it up."
I think the mask in this one, I like the mask in this one better than any other Phantom mask I've seen.
Yeah,
And
do
I
too.
think I think my favorite, because my least favorite thing about especially the Broadway show and all the versions of that is that they give him this thing here, but then when they pull it off, his face is like all fucked up.
Yeah, yeah,
If he's like my and I just went, I like that it's like the Batman mask. You see basically everything but his mouth.
yeah.
It's like you don't really know how severe the burn is.
I also like the fact that it doesn't make him look cool; it makes him look sad, which is like what I imagine the Phantom
Yeah.
feels like.
Yeah. I like that again, everyone's American even though they're in France.
Yeah, someone's going.
I found that the one thing that I didn't like about the color in it was that the lighting in the black and white movies all felt so much more dynamic. And this one felt,
Yeah,
I was like,
it's really flat.
yeah, it just needs to be more um like interesting lighting, especially because it's supposed to be opera, and opera's all about like big, extravagant, over the topness.
It feels like they picked one color palette for each room so that you would remember what room you're in. It's
Yeah,
like,
a couple moments didn't work for me. I like that nobody in the opera house was aware that they had like eroding tunnels just below it the whole time.
yeah.
And when they dropped the chandelier, the fuck, he's hacksawing that thing for like a solid minute.
Yeah.
They're sitting there, everybody's looking for him. They all know he's up there. Why is no one stopping him?
Going for it.
Is this is like a Monty Python bit where every they cut back to this guy who's just still going.
Oh my gosh.
And then they have this collapsing cave where literally one gunshot like destroys the whole.
Everything's ruined.
Yeah,
I do like the way the Phantom tricks people. He like always has a trick up his sleeve with like even the scuba thing to breathe underwater.
thing of like him, making him do a masquerade show so he can sneak on stage,
Yeah.
and then the cops sort of
Which
figure it out just a minute too late.
which is I like the one thing musical I don't like the character of Raoul in the musical as much as in this movie.
Hmm.
Well, it's because of how when Christine comes back and like says I love you to him,
Yeah.
he gets like really protective, but not in like a I'm gonna go kill this guy type of way. Like just back off.
Yeah,
Like,
yes, that's true. Yeah, no, I
yeah,
agree with that.
that I like a lot.
I will say this is a good lesson in having good managers for your opera company.
Yes.
Down to the fact that the guys in charge just don't know what's going on.
I'm confused. At the beginning of the movie, did they just buy it? Are they?
Can't tell.
It's like
They do, but then other times it seems like they've been doing this for like, this is the opera. We've done this for a century.
yeah, because like as soon as they like seem like they buy it, the people are like, do you know about the Phantom? They're like, why would you tell them? Why would you tell them right after you sold it?
This also has the most horses on stage,
Yeah.
probably of any movie ever. I'm
Hmm.
like trying to go in my head. I was like, that was when they came out. I was like, oh my gosh, that's how you know it's opera.
Yeah.
Horses.
And the reason why this movie's higher on my list is it has my favorite ending.
Mm.
The in my that mob on both sides. It's the part where, oh god, spoiler for the ending, where Lon Chaney, am I saying it right? Yeah.
No, Lon Chaney's the old one. This is Claude Rains.
Wait, what? It's his dad, right?
Oh yeah, Claude Rains plays his dad in The Wolfman. Lon Chaney is the Wolfman. Claude Rains is the Phantom. And Lon Chaney Sr. is the Silent Phantom.
That's what it is. Sorry. Yeah, my bad. I'm
Other
so off. Never mind.
Lon Chaney Sr. not in this movie.
Yes. Okay. Okay. There we go.
Uh,
Uh,
anyway, cops, mob, or are you thinking of a different movie?
I'm thinking of the old one now. I got them mixed up because I watched both.
This and every movie in this kind of series suffers from this idea that they're like, there's been a murder. And instead of doing the logical thing of going, let's call the cops, and the cops go investigate it, they just have a mob go. Everybody goes to look at to fix the problem.
Fix the problem.
Which, if you've ever been in a situation where 12 people are trying to help you at once, it does make it worse.
No. Yeah.
All right, yay for this
Okay.
movie. This movie happened.
This movie happened.
Cool.
Okay. Number 4. Is that what we're on?
Your go.
I got the Frankenstein's wife.
I did.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Right.
Yes,
We did it.
we did one.
One time we agreed.
Oh my gosh. Holy crap.
Yeah. So Bride of Frankenstein. It's the only sequel in the group. One, it starts with that weird introduction where they're like, let's have Mary Shelley be in the movie and talk about how I wrote more of the book than they showed the last time.
Yes.
The most obnoxious character in the movie is that guy who plays Lord Byron, who just does the rolls, and I can't roll.
Just keeps going.
I was like, oh my god,
That's
dude.
that's in some of these movies, but this one, I don't know why specifically it's so much.
Lord Byron. And Lord Byron was always like a big personality, like that's how they always talked. But
Yeah.
oh man. This one I love how Colin Clive, who plays Dr. Frankenstein, he ages like 10 years between two movies. I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
I guess
And I didn't get the sense it was that long.
he went through a pretty traumatic experience. But like, oh my gosh.
Stress.
Yeah.
Forgive him.
And
Like,
the thing that I was like, the thing that makes this movie not as good as any of the ones above it is they have that other doctor who's like Frankenstein's mentor come in. And
yeah.
it's weird. He doesn't make any sense. He creates like micro people. He's like, you have to build another creature, even though Frankenstein doesn't want to. And gosh, it just was like I was like I like most of this anything with the creature I was cool with.
Yeah.
But as soon as they went back to Frankenstein and his I don't remember what I didn't write his name down, but the other guy, I was like,
Yeah.
stop it. I want just show me the creature for 2 hours.
That's what I want. I think there's a just a pacing in it that wasn't thought out as much as the original,
Yeah.
which I don't know.
Yeah.
It's still good. That's the thing though. I was like, it's better than most of these movies.
I think that it's shot better too.
Yeah.
I think James Whale learned a lot more in between.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And it's closer to the book in terms of like what goes on. It the monster gets smarter.
Yeah.
The bride's not quite the same because in the book I don't think she actually gets made like fully. I think
They stop it.
he
Right.
stops and then Frankenstein's monster goes and kills Frankenstein's wife. Spoilers,
Yeah.
I read a book from 130 years ago.
Yeah. If you didn't know.
Now it's like 150 years ago.
Yeah, this isn't the this movie isn't original. It's not.
I thought this was the first sequel ever, but I learned it's not. So
Oh well,
the first sequel ever is a follow up to Birth of a Nation, which don't watch that movie if
oh,
unless
isn't it? I thought it was like the Clayman.
no,
Like a,
it's the first official like feature sequel.
oh, features. Yeah,
It's whatever the sequel to Birth of a Nation is, but I don't ever want to see Birth of a
yeah,
Nation because it's super racist.
yeah. I will say, costume design wise, oh, this is the best. The bride looks really cool on her own, but she looks really cool with not with Dracula, with Frankenstein, the creature.
Yeah,
They go together well.
and they're different. I think it's cool because they made her like she's in a similar family as he is, but she looks different enough that you kind of like it's almost like a progression. Like
Yeah,
figured out like, okay, I don't have to make it look like this hulking mass. I can make it look like a person.
yeah.
And I like too that the way that that actress performs as her is it's different from him. It's not like this big sort of lumbering like oaf thing, but it's
Hmm.
still like it doesn't feel human. It feels like something's off. This
Yeah.
twitchy sort of like nervous energy. That is the same actress who played Mary Shelley at the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
In the credits, she's listed as question mark. They never tell you who it is. Because they did it in the first one too. In the opening credits, they don't tell you who plays the creature
Oh, weird. I didn't know that.
in the beginning. Yeah,
Because I didn't even know who it is, but it's like,
yeah.
yeah.
And the ending's so good. I'm just like that moment when he's like my bride, and she's like nuh, and then just burns the thing to the ground.
Yeah.
That's like the most tragic. I think the Frankenstein storyline in this one really sells itself. They have the old man with the old blind.
Yeah.
The monster grows, and then he gets really horny and demands.
So,
And then it kind of redeems Frankenstein from the first one, where they show
hmm
he learned from his mistake of like I tried to play God and it bit me in the ass,
yeah.
and I need to not do that ever again.
I think although that's what I like about Frankenstein a bit, is he feels like an entitlement because he's like, wasn't supposed to be here, and now that I am here, shouldn't I have the stuff?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I love it, but
yeah, exactly. No,
oh,
I think it's cool. Great, cool, done. We did it.
yay. Now let's move on to stuff we don't agree on.
Well, I mean, two of them are going to be close,
Yes.
and then there's just the one. So my three was Wolfman, which we've already talked about.
Okay. And my 3 was Phantom.
Okay, so we've already talked about those, which means
Yes.
same top two. Did we put them in the same order?
I hope so.
If you didn't, we're just gonna fight over.
Okay. Let's say number 2 at the same time. Can we do that?
We're gonna do it. I'm gonna count down. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Invisible Man.
Frankenstein. Oh no.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I love the Invisible Man.
I did too, but I love Frankenstein more.
I'm not...
Who do we talk about? We talked about yours or mine last, so let's do Frankenstein.
Okay.
We'll go Frankie, and then we're gonna fight over which one gets to be the top spot.
This is going to be a hard fight for me because I feel like a part of the reason why I didn't put it number 1 is because I just know Frankenstein. Like, I love him. He's my favorite monster out of any of these. But he is, I know him. I know what happens. Like,
I was writing myself. I wonder if Rod Serling stole that intro for the Twilight Zone. Like, I wonder if that
mm,
influence where that guy
yeah,
like this is going to scare the living shit out of you.
I love that. That's such a good intro.
Karloff's not credited in the beginning. They don't tell you
Oh,
who the creature is, so you're not like aware of it. Um
man.
yeah, and then I didn't realize this was, so I watched Dracula first and then I watched this one. So then when Van Helsing shows up as whoever he is in this,
Yeah.
Renfield shows up as Fritz, not Igor.
Yep.
He's, he's not Igor. I don't know where Igor came from. He's
You know, they were just like on the set around somewhere and like, hey,
well, I
oh,
think it was. I think Universal just went like, we have 12 actors that we use in 90% of our stuff.
yeah,
That's why Karloff's in four of them. That's why Claude Rains is in four of them. Um,
yeah.
no, so Frankenstein is my favorite movie pre 1950.
Oh,
Like
okay.
end of story, hands down. I think
Let's
it's.
see.
I think this is a perfect example of how to cut a book into the,
Yeah.
because it knew, let's not tell the whole story. Let's not even tell all of the story that we're telling. Let's just get the part of guy makes thing which is wrong and everything ends badly.
Yes. Which maybe I'm just swept up in the other movie.
I'm gonna tell you this, like it's like right there. Invisible Man
Oh,
is so good. I think that the sets in this one are more interesting. For one,
yeah.
castles, and I keep forgetting. So I think this is one thing I think is dumb. Henry Frankenstein's name is Henry in this movie, but
Yeah.
the name Victor, who's
Which is not cool.
um, I think the Karloff's makeup looks so good, and this is the movie that inspired the Incredible Hulk, so you have to give that like some credit.
Yeah. Stuff.
I think James Whale. It's interesting that three of our top four were directed by James Whale.
Yeah.
Proves that he's probably the best director out of the group.
He's so good.
It's a good movie about him, starring Ian McKellen
Oh.
and
And
Brendan.
then, and then you can watch Ed Wood, which has the old Bela Lugosi story in it somewhere.
No, I just think like I've watched this one probably more than any of these,
Okay.
and like start to finish every time I'm just like yes, and it's a good like lesson in nature versus nurture, sort of,
Yeah.
where it's this idea of like the monster. Everyone sees him as a monster, and then he becomes a monster because of that.
Yeah.
It's this idea of like he would have been nice if you'd all given him a chance, but because you decided no, he's evil.
Yeah.
And that final confrontation in the windmill is just
Oh,
so interesting, so dynamic.
that's the thing. And I guess that's oh man, I'm already arguing against my movie. Is
The same thing in a minute.
I know, but I'm just saying like there's so much of this movie that like if I saw it somewhere else, I'd be like, I know what they're ripping off of. Which Invisible Man stuff, I guess that's the one. If somebody ripped it off, I'd be like, I didn't remember that like
Yeah.
as specific. I know the whole movie now.
The thing is, Frankenstein's just like, I mean, he's in the pop culture. Like he's up there with like Superman and I don't know enough pop culture. He's Kim Kardashian and like
Yeah.
say the name, the image, and he's there. To be,
Yeah.
it's hard to say the Invisible Man and see the person because he's invisible.
Yes.
The problem I have with this really is a couple times in the writing, I just hate when they do the like old school movie exposition dumps, where they're just like, we have to tell you what's going on now, so we're going to
Yeah.
for 5 minutes and explain everything.
Yeah. Which
Um,
I get it though if you're watching it like I don't know, like a program. I don't know how to explain it. I was fine with it in the moment. I was like, I'm just sitting here watching the movie. I'm fine with you explaining stuff to me.
yeah,
But
but like if the more I learned about like how you write movies, like oh you don't do that,
you don't do that.
don't do that anymore. And I think the one thing I really love watching Karloff move, he has
Yeah.
like he's big, and he's got that big hulking like heavy feel, but he also moves a little like a kid trying to learn how to do stuff,
Yeah.
which is so interesting. It's such an interesting contrast of you think he's this just like massive like tank of a person, but he's
Yeah.
very delicate until he's not. Like when he throws the girl in the water, it's not because he's trying to hurt her. He just doesn't realize like, oh, I'm really strong and I shouldn't
Yeah.
put a human into the water because I
Yeah.
want to throw things in the pond.
That's the thing, man. Frankenstein. Oh, sorry.
I say, I love how they're like, that girl couldn't swim, and it's like she was in 2 feet of water.
Yeah, that's not his fault. Oh my gosh. Pop, not even pop culture, like literature wise, it's he's one of the most important characters
Yeah.
ever written to explain like human nature in
Yeah.
anything we do.
If you've ever seen any other version of it where they go into a lot more detail, there's the stage show that Benedict Cumberbatch did. I think that's the
Yeah.
best version of the book where they really dive into him discovering like nature and learning like, and it really is, it's just the story of who, is a thing evil because you think it's evil, or is it evil because you make it evil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, heavy.
I do
But
feel like the one other logic thing is on Frankenstein's wedding day, nobody thought maybe check that the monster's still locked up.
yeah.
Like, we didn't kill it, so maybe we should just make sure it's not busted out of this unguarded castle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kill.
Yeah. But
Uh
it's a nearly perfect movie for me.
I am just amazed by the amount of visual effects in The Invisible Man
Yes.
for a movie from 1930.
No, and I agree with you. I'm like, that movie is amazing. And I like that they don't do an origin. He just there. Like,
He's just there.
visible. You don't need to see what happens. You don't need to know what happens. He just shows up. And I think of the three Claude Rains performances, it's the best one.
Yes. It's really good, especially it's so because he doesn't actually get to act like with his
Yeah, he just is a voice.
face. He just is a voice. But
I will say this. The one thing, this is probably the reason Frankenstein goes ahead of Invisible Man for me. That old woman, and she's in Bride of Frankenstein, is so bad.
Get her out.
Like, you did what? Oh my god! Ah! It's like, stop.
No,
Just in.
I was watching it at like 4 a.m. I had to keep turning on my speakers because I thought mom and dad were gonna be like, "What is going on?" I was like, "Shut up!"
Woman, it's so loud and like screechy. It just doesn't help.
What if she sees this though? She's gonna be upset.
I don't. Okay, fun fact. Everybody who was in any of these movies is dead.
Yeah, actually, trivia time. The longest living person in any of these movies lived to 2014. She was in the coach in the first scene of Dracula, and she was in a movie when she was 104.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy who plays Renfield shows up again as a reporter, so that's 3 for him. I should have kept tabs on who showed up in.
Yeah.
This one has the coolest action set pieces of any of them.
Mm-hmm.
I just wrote stunts.
It's
cool because the invisible stuff, because you can't, like, he's obviously, there's no one there, so
yeah.
people like throwing themselves into,
It's just chucking.
which is the coolest. I mean, that's the coolest thing, and the fact that they did it in a way that looks really believable in the 30s and 40s, like,
yeah. The amount of like, I don't know, slapsticky stuff in the part where, first off, billions of cop uniforms. They said we have to do something with all these cop uniforms. But the part where they're surrounding the house and he's like pulling hats, flipping them, like, and the people are just doing shit. I'm like, that's just people messing around. Like, it's nuts.
It's so good. I do say this. This movie solves my problem. When something goes wrong, who did they call? The police.
Please.
Cops.
Yeah.
And I will say this, and I'm not like, we're gonna go into it later. This one's scarier than the remake.
Yes, by a lot.
Actually, more terrifying. I think that the Invisible Man is the best villain of any of them.
Yeah.
Like, he's hands down. He's just a dude you can't see, but he's so scary.
Yeah.
Like, especially that disembodied voice of you just don't know where he is until he picks something up or he moves something, and even then he like slides a book and you don't know if it was like him standing there or if he just kind of walked past it, or like,
Yeah.
it could be anywhere.
And I like that they established that he is like a super genius, because it does, like, when there's that part where he gets in the car, the guy who thought that he was smart, he's like, I was in the room, and you're like, oh, like, of course he's in the room, he knows what to do, like, it's
Idiot.
Yeah. That's another thing though, it could be. I do feel a little bad for him because I know the invisible stuff also made him psychotic.
Yeah.
but I still hate him, which is really funny.
I think he's the most well developed of any character in this too. I think he has the most through line story arc from like start to finish. He doesn't feel like he's just there
Yeah.
the 20 minutes of the movie that he's in.
But he actually has my least favorite girlfriend. She is the most pointless person in all these movies.
I forgot he was there until towards the end.
Mm.
God. And they do it because it was like every movie had to have a love interest, but it's like you don't need a girlfriend. Just take,
Need it.
let him be evil.
This guy just wants to take over the world with this invisibility. Let him do it.
Here's what you should have done. Because they didn't do it because it was the 30s and 40s. They should have made her the friend that he like manipulates.
Yeah.
You know, they should have blended those two characters together. So one, she has more to do. So you have a female character who's actually doing something.
Yeah.
And you also don't have this friend who comes out of nowhere.
Yes. For no reason.
Who is this guy? Why did he show up? No, I think, but I like I said, this one surprised me how much I liked.
Yeah.
And the mime and the practical, the part where he breaks the bar apart.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, like I don't know what they did to design that set, but the fact that it just busts the way it does, like,
Yeah.
so it's so believable, and the fact that it happened in the time period that it did, like I've seen movies now that don't do
that.
that looks that good.
The one for me is it's just like a cigarette in the air getting lit and then like goes into a mouth. And I know it's just on strings, but I can't understand how they did it.
There's probably a trick. I'm sure I would love a documentary about how where's that movie? We have the Frankenstein behind the scenes movie. We have the Ed Wood behind the scenes movie. Where's the man?
Oh.
Well. Okay, so anything else on the Invisible Man?
Nah.
So now we have to reconcile this whole, and we can move. So we agreed on Bride, but we can bump it if we want to put one of the other two.
I don't want to bump it. I think it's perfect.
Okay, so here's so let's start at the bottom. So my bottom three are Mummy, Dracula, Black Lagoon, and yours are Wolfman, Black Lagoon, Mummy.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I'll say. If you put Mummy at the bottom, I will bump Black Lagoon down. So then it's like.
So it's Black Lagoon. Wait.
So Mummy, Black Lagoon, and then we can fight over Dracula and Wolfman.
Okay, wait, but do you like? Oh gosh. Do you prefer Wolfman to Black Lagoon?
Yes. I prefer Wolfman to Black Lagoon.
So yeah, I think putting Mummy at the bottom, I think I put Mummy too high. and putting Black Lagoon 7th.
Okay.
I'm good with.
Okay, so Mummy. Yeah. If you haven't seen, we stole this move from the Top 10 podcast. If you haven't seen them, or I guess heard them because it's not a visual.
But we're the Top 8 podcast.
We're the Top 8, and we're only doing it for this.
Yes. Although I have a lot of fun, I might want to do it later.
Yeah, and okay, so then we have Creature from BL. Okay, so then here's what I will say. If you put Dracula at 6, I will bump the Wolfman down a couple spots for 5.
If you put it in 5, yeah.
Okay.
I still I liked it better than I like Dracula better, but I know it's because of entertainment. It's not a better movie. It's
both about equally, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I would say we do Bride, Phantom
3. That's easy.
Yeah, Bride, Phantom 3, Bride 4, and now we have to fight.
I have to fight. I don't think I have a leg to stand on though.
Do you want to put Frankie at 1?
Frankie's at 1. I just was trying to be a hipster over here. I just didn't want it to be. I knew in my heart.
So this is what we're gonna do. As I said earlier, our next podcast is the remakes, updates, newer versions of all of these.
Yes.
So, and they're not all directors. I think one of the 7 of them is a direct remake, and then we also added another movie that like a bunch of the characters are in because
Yeah.
we won't tell you anything right now, but know that one of them's a remake, one of them's a legit remake.
Or legit, only one.
Only one. Two of them are more source material accurate, updated versions.
Yeah. Reboots.
Two are remakes now.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for like one came out very recently, one came out about
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
One of them has two of these movies in it, and then one is like a rough adaptation, similar story, but it's not the same movie at all. Yeah, so
It's gonna be a mess.
it's gonna be a big old mess. But we're gonna do this list, and we're gonna compare it to that list and see how they. So this is the final ranking according to the two of on the Universal monster movies. Number 8, The Mummy. Number 7, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Number 6, Dracula. Number 5, Man. Number 4, The Bride of Frankenstein. 3, The Phantom of the Opera. 2, The Invisible Man. And number 1 is, of course, Frankenstein. That's all we got.
I wouldn't have it any other way except for I did. I literally did.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's how this works. I mean, we didn't fight as long. I thought we'd be fighting for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And now we've got all this editing I have to do, but we'll get to that.
Into that.
I think it's your.
It is my turn, and I had one from one of these movies, and it's gone because there wasn't as many memorable movie lines as I thought there would be.
Big ones, but I don't know if you want to go with one of the like.
Oh no, it's the one in Dracula. It's like the guy in the insane asylum when he's like kicking somebody back, and I loved it.
Yeah, God, what is
I
that?
can't remember the line though.
It's fine. Just
I'll drink your blood. I got nothing. That's not even in the movie.
it's a suck your blood, not a drink you. I drink your milkshake.
I mix them. Daniel Day-Lewis is Dracula. We're doing it.
No, come back for Nathan's one-man production of Dracula,
Jeez.
where he improvises the whole story from him.
I don't remember.
That's you and I should just both get hammered. Watch one of act it from memory.
Oh my gosh, I want to do that so bad. Oh my gosh.
All right, that's all we got. We'll see you next time. Hopefully
Love ya.
not too long, a couple weeks. All right,
Yeah.
love you, dude.
Love ya.